Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here coming at you with a meta update video. I think a lot of people are gonna hate us for even doing this video in the first place, Herf, but I guess we have to do it, right?
Why would people hate us?
Is it because they hate this deck?
This deck is fun. This deck is
I think they
fair and balanced.
I think they want Invoker to die forever and go away and never come back.
Well, maybe Konami should have thought about that before they put in the game.
Okay, because it seems like every time we try to put Alistair to ground, he finds his way out and he comes back in some new form.
That's why I'm saying it's a good dream ticket. Oh wait, sorry, wrong video.
Wrong video, wrong video. All right, so if you
but
don't know what's going on, Alistair gets a hit. It's limited to 3 now, along with the pal, so they can't be played in Element Sabers, and people just don't want to let this die. They want to summon Purgatrio, so what are they doing, her? They're
they
finding a new way, right? They want to get that cock out on the field. They want to play Purgatrio. How are they
yeah, and
doing
the
it?
interesting thing about this deck is that the main card is the Roid City. So you get
Okay.
to destroy one card on your side of the field to search a Roid from your deck to your hand. So if you brick, you can search your Kite Roid,
Mm-hmm.
and so for bonus defense, or you can search material for your fusion summon like Kaitis or your ambulance Roid, which is a fire and water respectively. So you can either go to Kaitis, you can go into Purgatrio. You have defensive and offensive options with your back row as well to back you up.
Okay. Um, I don't even know what to say about this deck. I wish it would go away, but why are we here, Herb? Why are we here?
Well, I mean, this deck got top 16 in MCS,
Okay.
and I think that, well, Dennis got top 16 with this deck in MCS. There wasn't a
Right.
lot of Roids brought, but I mean, I think it's worth noting because it's a searchable Kite Roid, and Kite Roid is really,
Okay.
really good in this format because there are a lot of OTK decks. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can Kite Roid, maybe get a D draw, and then go into your Purgatrio, I mean, it's a really strong interaction there because you can some okay, right, so just the whatchamacallit, the city and the Alistair is any fusion you want from your deck, right? You can either have a Cocytus or a Purgatrio off of that because you normal summon Alistair, you activate Roid City, you pop your Alistair, you search your material, and then you're a full combo. So it's just very interesting. Like a lot of the deck is searchable. It's a good Blackwing
Okay.
counter because you have the Kite Roids, and Blackwing can't OTK through a Kite Roid, and it's just good.
Right now,
The
I'm looking up to see actually how well this deck has done in the past week here. No top eights. No top eights.
I think a lot of that has to do with people haven't really thought about the deck,
Mm-hmm.
and I think going into this week, next week, it's definitely a deck that's going to gain more popularity.
No top eights. It made the top 32 5 times in the past week.
So that means not a lot of people are playing it.
Right. 9 people played it that made the top 32 5 times.
So Dennis made top 16 in MCS with it.
Top
Pretty good.
16 is not a top 8.
But it is in an MCS.
MCS
So
doesn't
I,
mean anything.
I mean it's the
That's
it's the
that's just
largest tournament.
that's just what players tell themselves so they can feel good about getting into a top 16 in the MCS.
But the main reason I think that this deck is, or one of the main, well, I say an additional reason that this deck is good is because your opponent can't actually play around Kite Roid very well because they will not get a delay until Kite Roid is able to be activated. So that's in the damage calculation.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do all of their stuff in the damage step, think they have lethal swinging into you, but they can't read the Kyroid until it's too late, so you can proc your Destiny draw off of them and then go into your OTK combo once you get whatever material you need.
Doesn't this just have the same problems that Element Sabers had and Neos Invoked had? They're just kind of, it's just a helmet deck. I mean, it can't even flip down now anymore, like with Element Sabers.
Yeah, you do definitely rely more on your back row, but I would say that's compensated by your Kyroid. Kite Raid is really, really powerful. I mean, any kind of hand traps and Duel Links are powerful because we have no way to disrupt them. So the deck is stronger and weaker. It has its pros and cons, although it's not as good of a deck as Sabres were.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's just not Sabres.
So honestly, why are we doing a profile on this? Are we just saying here this deck is crap? I mean, we could just put this.
No, this deck, I would expect this deck to be definitely crack into like the top 5 area of a power rankings.
Really?
This deck has that potential if
What?
people decide to play it.
If people
This
decide,
deck, if people decide to play it, it will crack top 5 because this deck is very good.
sir,
Like,
sir, do you know what you speak of right now?
what do I speak of right now, Circus? Tell me.
All right, I'm looking at the top 5. So you think it belongs up there with Crystron's, Ritual Beast, Shiranui, Dark Magician, and Black Wings?
I think this deck in a tournament setting is better than Dark Magician.
Okay.
And I think this deck has a very strong matchup against Black Wings. And I think this deck has a favorable matchup against Shiranui.
A favorable. Okay, what about Crystron's and Ritual Beast?
Crystron's, and it depends upon the version of Crystron's they're playing, SSA versus just the combo version with Wielder.
Mm-hmm.
I think this deck has a good matchup versus the combo version, but a bad matchup versus SSA. Because once they get out that Sea Stealth attack, you're kind of just floodgated. There's not much you can. I mean, this deck can't run Cosmic, so Sea Stealth attack really cucks you.
Mm-hmm.
But Ritual Beast, I would say, is more of a 50-50 matchup because Purgatrio spam, like, people respect Purgatrio, but people don't think about how crazy a card like Purgatrio is against something like Ritual Beast, where your main protection is being able to float. Like, Purgatrio is just like, okay, keep floating. I dare you. Just keep, like, so I would say the deck definitely has a lot of potential if people decide to play it. Now, people probably won't because they don't want to play Alistair anymore, but the deck is good. It is good.
Are you going to play this deck?
Am I? Well, okay, I only play in leagues and I don't want to disclose that information.
Oh my gosh,
But
so that's a huge no. That right there is a huge no.
the deck is very good. Very strong.
I don't know. I'm going to have to wait and see proof. It's a worse version of a deck that was on its way out. Element Saber's on the way out. Neos, like Neg said, blocks with its face, so it's very easy to counter against, especially in a tournament setting. You know, I just think this is a worse version of those two decks.
I would argue that
Because this deck has been around, and it was around during Element Sabers. It was around during the Invoked Neos days, and this was like the weird cousin from the country or whatever. You know what I mean? The weird stepchild of the Invoked family, and it was always third best. And I just don't think this is, even under the new ban list and everything, this is not the way to play Invoked.
Well, I think it's interesting that you bring that up because we are going to because Sabres have been hit so drastically and they're just gone now.
Right.
We really don't have another really controlling back row deck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
not like Gokis or anything exist.
So what? No, I mean Gokis. Okay, where are Gokis on the
or Shiranui or they're all around.
Okay.
Goki! Oh no, hang on, Goki. Right here, buddy. Goki. Top 4 Battle Phase Money, top 8 Battle Phase Friday, top 8 Battle Phase EU. All better than
because people okay.
This deck right here.
What I'm saying is this deck is good. That's my point. This deck deserves a little respect.
I will wait and see before I give it that respect.
All right. I mean, fair enough. But I mean, this deck has probably one of the best Blackwing matchups in the meta right now.
Mm-hmm. Better than any other deck.
I would argue, yeah, because Blackwings cannot play through a Kite Roid, and they don't have their Blackbird close to prevent from getting Purgatrio next turn.
Okay.
So, they can't. They just die. They either attack in
But that's
and give you
that's
your
Black
D-drop?
Wings in general. Black Wings this past week had a 1% conversion rate into the
I would
top
argue-
8. 1%. They were played 81 times. One guy made it to the top 8. So don't tell me that Black Wings is the reason this deck is going to be good.
I would also argue that it's a Purgatrio deck. So it's going to have a solid matchup versus Ritual Beast in general.
Can't Ritual Beast just use that pink little dolphin and send that Purgatrio right back where it came from?
I mean, they can, but then they have to deal with another one next turn, right? So, like...
If you're alive by then, what if they do the Ritual
Okay.
Beast thing and, like, Cannahawk, take them back, kick your ass?
So if the argument is, if I'm going first with this deck, why on earth am I going into Purgatrio?
I didn't say you were going first. I'm just saying you have Purgatrio on the board. You didn't kill them. It's
But if I
bye.
put Purgatrio on the board versus Ritual Beast, I'm winning that turn.
Are you sure?
And if I'm not...
What if they're running Canadia? We've seen them run Canadia. Can Purgatrio OTK through Canadia, flipping it face down? Is that how that works?
That's a valid concern. But what I'm saying is, Purgatrio beats Ritual Beasts, and you have to open one of your two Canadia.
But Purgatrio does not beat Floodgate or Canadia.
Purgatrio does get disrupted by those things.
I'm just saying.
As I have my Kite Roid in hand at all times. I just have that Kite Roid in my sleeve, just ready to go.
Just ready to go.
Freaking Bandit Keith just.
I'm just saying that all the things that you're saying that is great about this deck, I think there's other decks in the meta that can counter those things that are so great about it. If this deck was that great, they would have been playing this before Element Sabers were when Element Sabers were around and when Invoked Neos were around.
I'm not saying it's tier 1. I'm not saying that it's the best deck to ever hit Duel Links.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, look at this new deck, and it's not bad.
You're saying it's top 5 out of there were 20 decks that scored points in tournaments last week. You're saying it's top 5.
Okay, I consider anything outside of the top 5 meh.
Well, it's not even in the top 5, and it was in the tournaments last week.
Okay, there were 5 people that played it.
It's meh.
I would say that this is better than the other ones.
No. 3 people played Desperado, and 1 guy got a top 8. Desperado scored more points than this deck.
Wait, was that in the Battle Phase EU?
Yes, it was.
Point proven.
Megaliths, Magician Girls, Synchrons, Teller Knights all scored 1 point.
Alright, you bring this to a Battle Phase EU, guaranteed $10. Alright? All I'm saying.
All right, I'm going to stop giving her a hard time. We'll see how the deck does down the road. We'll watch it over the next week, and after the power rankings, we'll come back and we'll do, was Herf right or was Circus right? And then the other person can gloat a little bit. How about that?
Sounds perfect.
I hope you like this video. This is one of my favorites already. Maybe we'll have some more of these in the future. Herf versus Circus on the meta. Herf versus Data. That's what it is. Herf versus
Data. Well, I'm trying to make a future prediction here.
All right.
You're looking at the past.
I'm looking back. You're looking forward, right?
It's true.
All right. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, make sure to get in our Discord, because that's where we host all the tournaments, where you're going to see crap like this play in those tournaments. And make sure to get into our new player channel if you're new, because that can definitely help you out. And people like Herf might even answer your questions. Yeah. All right. We're going to get out of here. I'm Circus. That's Herf.
See ya.
See ya.